I received a letter notifying me that I owed them over $180,000 with an initial payment due of over $50,000, and that I was behind by over 5,000 payments. And I looked at this and I I mean, I didn't recognize it. I didn't know what it was from. And so I did what you're supposed to do. Um, and I just wrote to them disputing the debt, saying, can you give me information about the debt? Who was it with? How much it was it for? Who signed for it? I thought all of this was fraud because there's so many scams. Shortly thereafter, I received a packet from them saying that this was their proof, and it was a old second mortgage note that I had signed when I purchased my house in 2006, and a brief accounting of 4 months. So basically showing the amount owed and a late fee because I hadn't paid the 50 some thousand dollars on time. And at that point, I was like, wait a second. This loan was charged off when I modified. Like, what is going on here? Back in 2009, I had to modify my loan. I was going through a divorce. I had 2-year-old twins. And so I went in for a modification. And fortunately, I was able to modify my loan by 2010. And I've been paying that modified loan ever since. So, and it was my understanding that the first and the second were modified together because the balance went up. And I've faithfully been making those payments ever since. I have received no documentation, no statements, no anything about this loan since 2009. So from 2009 till February of 2024, I had not received any type of communication about this loan. And, I mean, that's a fairly lengthy amount of time. 15 years is a pretty lengthy amount of time. I assumed that it was modified with my first mortgage and was told that. So I would have no reason to believe otherwise. I don't think it was any lawmaker's intent during the financial crisis to have these second mortgages that were sort of shady to begin with, to come back and haunt the people who had worked really hard to rebuild themselves. I mean, I've had to rebuild myself, from the ground up as a single parent, going back to work and taking care of my 2 children. And I've done pretty well so far, in that I've kept us in our family home all this time. And, to have someone eke in February of this year and threaten to take that away is really, well, it's like going back to that time when I wasn't sure what we were going to do or where we were going to go, with me and, my 2-year-olds. So it's pretty scary. In fact, it's more than pretty scary. It's really, really frightening.